Welcome to Tulum, Mexico.
It's September and it is the middle of the off-season.
While Tulum's known for beautiful beaches and nightlife, there's so much more to it.
So, in this video, we're gonna give you our top 5 activities to do this time of year.
Plus, we got some valuable information you don't want to miss.
Yeah!
Located on the Yucatan Peninsula, Tulum is situated on the Gulf Coast and home to some of Mexico's most beautiful beaches.
During its peak season of November through April, it is known for upscale beach clubs and trendy shops that line this coastal town. But in the off-season, you'll find much of Tulum is running at limited capacity.
Many of the venues are empty and completely closed, which had us wondering what else the area had to offer during the off-season.
What we found left us pleasantly surprised.
Before starting our hunt for the top activities around Tulum, we were gonna need a way to get around.
So here we are at Tulum Scooter Rental. We've teamed up with these guys. They're amazing. They're hooking us up with the scooter.
He recommended a couple secret spots we didn't even know about.
Let's go check them out.
Very excited.
Yo!
Because we're always up for a challenge, we wanted to see how much of Tulum we could discover using only a scooter for the next month.
This takes us to number 5 on our list, sea turtles. By traveling in September, we were perfectly timed to be here during the turtle hatching season.
Baby sea turtles hatching are a very rare sight, but we knew where we could swim with some of the adults. We headed north 25 kilometers to the town of Xcabal. It's well known for its amazing giant turtle viewing.
On our drive, we encountered a little issue.
So we're on our way to Xcabal right now, and we have a flashing gas light. We realize these things don't have a huge gas capacity, so that means we have to go find a gas station. So at this point, we're just crossing our fingers that we make it.
This is giving me a Costa Rica throwback.
We made it!
Because much of the water and area around Xcabal is national park, you must hire a licensed tour company to take you beyond the marker lines and access the coral reef. But since we wanted to see the reef fish, we decided to book one of the tour companies that you drive past as you pull into town.
Because it was the off-season and kind of slow, we received a private tour for no additional cost. The hour-long snorkel tour and park access would cost us a standardized $50 USD each. This includes all-day access and shore snorkeling. We got something to tell you. You would love this place.
You would love this place.
Yeah.
Guess what? We were just swimming out in this water with turtles. Like not one or two, like a whole bunch of turtles. Little babies, humongous turtles.
Like this big. And they eat the grass like...
You
can hear them. You can hear them.
Tell them about the stingray.
Oh. There was a big, beautiful stingray, probably like 8-foot long tail. I don't know. And it had like a duck bill, and then it was hunting, I think. So as it would go down into the sand, and it would like hit the sand, and this like pillowy white sand would come up around its face, and it was so cute. If you have your own snorkel gear, you could pay the entrance fee for the national park, and you can come in and snorkel all the way out to all these buoys. You don't necessarily need a guide, it's helpful.
Yeah.
But our guide told us how she spots turtles.
Yeah.
You just wait till they come to the top and you see their head pop up and you're like, oh, let's swim over
Spotted.
there. So they go up, go down, eat grass, swim around, but you have plenty of time to get over there and check them out.
It's awesome. For 400 or 500 pesos, you can buy some snorkeling gear just down the street right here. They got you set up.
But it's just an awesome place to have a day, you know? We're happy to be here.
Yeah, so I think it's clear to say that Xcabal deserves a spot on our top 5 Tulum list.
After returning to Tulum that night, we decided to go on an evening walk down the Tulum beach and stumbled on what would be our first of 4 turtle nest hatchings.
When a nest of baby turtles hatch, they make a mad dash. Seeing these little babies was an incredible and unexpected experience for us. You can watch our story about this on our Instagram page or in our YouTube shorts, and you can find the link below. We were so grateful for the opportunity to help them, and the experience made us more aware of our impact on the environment.
That was amazing. Wow.
That was super cool.
So to wrap up the day with these little guys is so cool.
So sweet.
For our first quick tip of the video, if you're planning on vacationing in the month of September, you definitely want to take part in the Mexican Independence Day celebration on the 16th.
Actually, the big party starts the night before on September 15th, so get out and make a night of it. Enjoy some local food, cervezas, dancing with the locals. Have a blast.
For our number 4 spot, we suggest you make the time to explore some of the Mayan ruins. Our first stop was actually 23 kilometers south of Tulum.
We have just arrived at Muyil. We're about to explore some Mayan ruins, which we're very excited about.
Muyil dates back to around 300 BC and was a small village that covered nearly 40 hectares.
This is all really beautiful, but some of the buildings are completed and then other ones look like piles of rubble like this. We're assuming they look like this because the mortar that they used between the stones just eroded over time. That also means that there has to be a lot of speculation when they're rebuilding these. It's like a puzzle that you've never seen the original plans to. You're just guessing what all the pieces go to. Also, if you get bothered by bugs a lot like I do, please make sure to bring bug spray because there's a lot of bugs back here.
It's really cool walking through the ruins here because they're spread out in the jungle, so you really get to feel like it's a village or something. It's so amazing to look at these structures and be near ruins. It just feels like there's such history or energy at them, and humans are so fascinating. So it's just your imagination can run wild with all the possibilities of things that happened here.
For an extra 50 pesos or 3 USD, you can take the bridges through the mangroves that lead you to a lagoon. It also provides you access to a lookout tower that brings you above the jungle canopy. Climb at your own risk.
This acts as a good escape from the mosquitoes up here.
We're supposed to be quiet out here because it's a biological reserve to help protect the animals and let them live in their natural habitats, but you still hear the trucks and the cars so loud from the road. We talk about this all the time, how disruptive we are as humans to everything in nature, and
Yes.
it's another example of it. It's beautiful though. If you keep going, you reach a canal, and from there you can board a boat, and they'll take you to a canal that the Mayans made by hand in order to increase their trade routes. The boat and float is 1,000 pesos per person. We're not doing that today. It looks amazing, so if you have the means to do it, definitely take advantage of it. Pretty flooded over here.
It's flooded, all right. Oh!
Our next stop would be to see the Tulum ruins themselves. This is at the expense of being much more popular as it's much closer to the Tulum town.
After arriving at the parking area, we found ourselves a little confused where exactly to go to access the ruins.
So we're walking all around the Tulum ruins parking lot looking for the official place to pay to get into the ruins. There is a whole bunch of booths set up. Everyone's trying to sell you their own experience for different prices. We have the official map. We're gonna show you where you need to go to pay to get into the park. Don't get confused because it's really easy here.
Yeah, everything says official, so it's hard to say what's actually official. So over here appears to be the main road, and they sent us back in this corner to go get tickets. This is the National Park tax, so first fee.
You must pay the national park tax to enter the park, and this runs down along the beach.
Here's our next stop.
But there is a second booth where you pay a small fee to actually enter the ruins themselves.
Tulum served as a major port for the Mayans. It inhabited around 1,600 people at one time. But because they feared invasion, the city was completely surrounded by stone walls and overhung the Caribbean Sea on a cliff face.
So a humongous benefit of coming early is there's very little people here.
That, and it gets really hot here. We're already sweating like crazy. It's, I think, 9 a.m. So come early, avoid the heat, bring sunscreen, and lots of water. There's so many iguanas here, and they're all over the walls, all over the structures. It almost feels like they're the guardians or gargoyles as part of protecting whatever the ruins are here. And we're like, maybe it's like the Mayans reincarnated or something, but there's lots of protections on them and not a lot of predators, so they are all over the place.
So you want to give yourself at least an hour to do some exploring here.
If you come to the ruins, you can make a whole day of it. You can come right to the beach. This is Playa Santa Fe, white sand, beautiful water, and they even have massages and beach clubs. It's been a lovely afternoon. Highly recommend it.
Let's talk about the convenience of traveling around on a scooter. Cars get really backed up down the main hotel zone, but the scooters, you go zigzag through everything. Not to mention the parking is cheaper, and you just look cool on them too.
Don't forget, drink lots of water.
In spot 3, cenotes. This region is absolutely famous for them. There's actually nearly 6,000 of these located around the Yucatan Peninsula. So we thought we would start close to home and head just a couple miles south of Tulum to Cristal, my first cenote experience.
It's our first cenote together. It's very fitting that it's actually ours. A cenote is a naturally forming sinkhole in limestone bedrock that exposes the groundwater just below. These are a result from the same meteor that caused the mass dinosaur extinction some 66 million years ago.
As with most cenotes, the water is incredibly clear in Cristal. They even built a jumping platform that kept us busy for some time. We climbed back on the scooter and continued our search for the perfect cenote.
One of them that became our favorite was a cenote known as Sac Atun, or the Pet Cemetery.
We're driving to Sac Atun Cenote. But on the way, this dirt road is so full of cenotes. You can spend all day dipping in all these different cenotes. I'm gonna dub this Cenote Alley.
We are preparing to enter the caves at the Cenote Sac Atun. Supposedly it's the largest submerged cave in the world.
Now the price can vary depending on the time of year you go and if you want to do a group or a solo tour.
And it's so quiet. I mean, of course, we're here in the off-season. They have some more parking spaces here, but there's a group tour that you can do, which is only 40 USD. And then they have a private tour that takes you a little bit more extensively into the cave system.
You will be given the option for your own flashlight and wetsuit.
Admission here includes a wetsuit, a life jacket, snorkel, and a mask. You need the wetsuit because the water is really cold. We're in a cave.
Now the name Pet Cemetery is actually due to the fact that divers found 33 different sets of fossils, 5 of which actually date back to the Ice Age.
While swimming in a cenote or coral reef, you should never wear sunscreen because it damages the ecosystem. Although it may look like lotion, this film near the mouth of the cave is actually natural calcium deposits.
This cave was vast and had countless formations of all types.
Some chambers were easily 40 to 50 feet deep and over 100 feet wide. It was such a unique caving experience, floating on the top of the cave and peering down below, rather than standing at the base of the cave and looking up.
A cautionary note to anyone who is scared of the dark, confined spaces, or even bats. this is not an experience for you. You'll face a lot of each of these three while you're here.
We spent about 3 hours in the caves, and it wasn't until our final 10 minutes that somebody else entered the cave, giving us the full effect of isolation, and it made a very special experience for us.
Okay, guys, honestly, that was like my favorite caving experience I have ever had.
I swear there's a million stalactites in there. There has to be. And what you see is only a piece of the size of this cave. When you're in there with your snorkel and flashlight, like, it's vast beyond belief.
Without a doubt, this place is a must do in the off season. As for now, back on the scooter to the next spot.
Some quick food tips. There are some amazing places to eat around town.
Gordita chicharrón and quiche.
There's taco stands everywhere. Stop at any of them that pique your interest, that look busy, and just explore. Some of our favorites were around the Super Aki market on the east end of town.
This place is definitely the one to go to if you want to get all your grocery shopping done on a budget. So there's not many spots that we would go back to in town. We're trying all the food we possibly can. With that said, this is the second time we've come back to this spot. So definitely come, try this place out. It's, again, right in front of the Super Aki. Today in particular, we're having the gringas with beef brisket.
This next location was a hard decision for us whether or not we wanted to include it on this list, just due to its distance from Tulum.
So we're doing an overnighter. We have a couple bags we packed light. You can actually store stuff under the seat here and in the very back.
So for the number 2 spot, we're adding the Lagoon of Bakalar to our list.
So we don't get caught off guard again, we are covering our bases and we're filling a water bottle with some fuel just because we have a long trip and I don't know where the next gas station is.
Just when you think you're about to run out of gas and you're flashing on nearly empty, you get another gas station.
Whew. We were so excited to arrive in Bakalar and beat the stormy weather that was moving in. So we partnered up with Xcabal Boutique Hotel. The space was stunning and built with relaxation in mind.
After we arrived, we had a quick bite to eat at their delicious restaurant and fueled up for our next adventure, our very first sailing trip, which was organized by the front desk.
Guys, look at this place.
We have to tell you about this place. It's really something special.
This is the first time we've ever gone sailing, which is so cool. Both of us got to do our first time together.
We've spent like 2 hours there and I literally don't want to leave this place. Like, it's awesome.
This is the sand that makes this place so special. It's because it's full of minerals, in particular, sulfur. So above the water, it actually feels a little bit like hard water. It's interesting, but you smell it. Smell that.
It's nice.
It smells a little bit like
stinky.
farts. Kind of smells like a fart.
But our captain said she called this sweet water. I like sailing. I like being able to float around in the water without a motor. It's really nice.
It's quite peaceful.
Yeah.
After an amazing trip, we quickly headed to bed because Xcabal set us up with another adventure first thing in the morning.
It's time to go get ready for the paddleboard, babe.
We're gonna go watch sunrise from the water.
Wow. That was amazing.
Our time here had gone way too fast, but we needed to return to Tulum.
Okay, so we're out of Bakalar. We're headed to Tulum.
And pretty much as soon as we left, the rain started. This guy all day is like, I like driving in the rain.
And there's a lot of lightning. So, there's some pluses to the scooters and sometimes there's some negatives. This is a negative.
This is where we should mention that there are more ways than one to travel to Bakalar. You could take a bus round trip for around 30 USD per person, or rent a car starting at 35 per day.
We trek on, only 200 kilometers to go. Is that a ruin, Boo-Boo?
It looks like a ruin.
Let's go look at it. We're always looking for the positives. I think the positive of that heavy rainstorm is it slowed us down enough that we noticed this. Thank you, Crystal. Let's get back to Tulum.
Mexico, like much of the world, prefers cash when possible. And it even requires cash at many places that you're going to go. So, using a money exchange is going to be necessary, especially during those longer trips.
All right, guys, I got a pro tip. If you come here and change money, show them your passport the first time and they give you a VIP card, and then you don't need to carry your passport around and they'll still exchange money for you. This has been very helpful since we've been here.
For our final recommendation, we're going scuba diving. It's something I've honestly wanted to show Crystal since I met her. So the wait is finally over. She doesn't yet have her PADI certification, so I needed to find a company that could accommodate her and set her up with a discovery dive for her first time.
We partnered with our new friends at Koox Diving Tulum, who geared us up for a day of real adventure.
Our day of diving was going to bring us to a short drive north of Tulum at Casa Cenote.
Now, and around here, I will tell you guys to stop because I will go up to look for the crocodile. So you guys will approach with your fins, walking down.
We started the day with some diving instructions and tips that would help build my confidence for my first dive and ease my mind. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous.
You press that, then you have it in your mouth and it'll push the water outside.
This is a major bucket list item for me. I've been wanting to do this for years. And today's the day.
Finally, my gosh. Let's get her in that water.
Jumping into the water brought me some anxiety from the first few minutes. It feels so unnatural to breathe underwater for your first time, and admittedly, there's a lot of things to keep track of when you're not used to it. It can be a little overwhelming. I have to say though, our diving instructor really put me at ease and was very attentive. I'm so grateful that I had this experience with them.
The water was incredibly clear.
So, how was it?
Well, to be honest, at first I was very, very scared. I just understood what it meant to be underwater.
Yeah. I definitely suggest this.
And right after this, we're only halfway done. We head over to the coral reef in the bay across from here. So one more dive to go.
Super cool.
Wow, this is really filled up with people so fast. I would suggest an early morning trip, as early as possible.
Our guide was just explaining how all of the water is connected here. Tulum is like a sponge, and it looks like out here in the ocean, the fresh water from the cenotes are coming up into the bay.
Scuba diving was amazing. Yeah, first of all, the cenote, that was the first time I dove in a cenote. First time you dove ever. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, and there's a crocodile in the cenote, not to mention.
So I tail first, no? And then boom, the back.
Wow. A crocodile 5 feet away from us here in the water. Wow. It's amazing.
Panchito.
Panchito.
That's the name.
And lots of little fishies and cracks you can swim through. The water is pristine, sparkling clear. Sun rays shining through, everything you could dream of about diving in a cenote.
But then when we jumped in the ocean, we took a boat ride out. It was a short boat ride, beautiful water. And the second we dove in, we had a problem. The GoPro froze, so we don't have any good footage from it. I'm a little bummed about that because it was beautiful. It was definitely as equally, if not more fun, even than the cenote. We got to swim under and through coral, so many species of fish.
Yeah, it took my breath away, really, and it's hard for me to gather my thoughts about it. It was just such a special, unique experience. I'm so grateful, especially with this company. Like, they did an excellent job.
It's amazing.
Highly recommend.
Very deserving of this spot on our top 5 list.
We want to give a huge thank you to all the video sponsors that helped enrich our time here in Mexico. You can learn more about each one of them in the links in the description below.
And if you enjoyed this information, please subscribe right now. Give us a thumbs up. It honestly means the world to us. Thanks
for watching!